Welcome to the AU Scoop. I'm your host, Phillip Dukes, aka Deuce the Scoop. Check me out on Twitter and Instagram at Deuce the Scoop. And make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. All right. We're in the offseason where Auburn is coming off of a 5-7 campaign. You missed the bowl game, a lot of turnover on the roster, but some really young pieces and some exciting players when you consider what Auburn is bringing back into the fold after a losing season. Right now, Auburn has been very competitive and aggressive in the transfer portal. High school recruiting, you come up with the top 10 class once again. I'm still a little bit hurt the fact that Auburn didn't come up with the type of season that it would have taken for them to get to a number one class, but for them to be the only losing team with a top 10 class, I think speaks a lot to what Auburn did and is doing on the recruiting front. All that being said, it all boils down to the players as far as how successful Auburn can be in 2025. I've been hearing a lot about the intensity of the player-led workouts, whether it be DBs or whether it be quarterback receiver with the running backs there as well. I've also heard that workouts themselves have been spirited and team run has been very spirited. So today I just wanted to talk about some of the things that I've been hearing on the planes right now, some of the first impressions that are being made by newcomers that I'm hearing. And if I'm an Auburn fan right now, I think you got to be excited, right? Reason being, I had some questions myself about the quarterback room. How did I feel like the quarterback room would look with having basically all newcomers, right? Secondly, I always thought that Jackson Arnold was cool, but what did he do really special that was going to make Auburn a championship contender in his first year? So some of the early feedback that I've gotten, let's start with team run. Some of the early returns out of team run is people really want to see how fast players wanted to see how fast Eric Singleton really is. And Singleton answered those questions very fast. So team run, they have different sessions. Sometimes, the sprints. And when they go to sprinting, there's some long distance running just for cardio, and there's some sprinting that goes on. And you got some fast players on the team already. But for Eric Singleton to come in, really endear himself to that locker room, and to take on all challenges when it comes to sprinting, there's no doubt on anybody's mind in this locker room that Eric Singleton is the fastest player. I'm not going to say which players challenged him, but he was challenged multiple occasions. And Eric Singleton is by far, you ask someone, he's by far the fastest player. What's that mean for Auburn in 2025? Hugh Freeze with a guy with game-breaking speed. We're talking about, think about Anthony Schwartz with the cachet to really get into his routes. And I think that Anthony Schwartz, as he developed, he got better. But I think right now, Eric Singleton is a little further along than Anthony Schwartz was at this point in his career. But not as fast as Schwartz, but in that same arena. People tend to forget Eric Singleton has a 10-2 on record in the state of Georgia, 10-2 flat. He's ran some and he's been timed at 10-1 multiple times. When you talk about 10-1, you're talking Tyreek Hill. We're talking that level speed. So, once again, having a guy like Eric Singleton, who right now has taken on all challenges when it comes to the supremacy for speed on the team, I think that's a heavy weight that he's willing to bear. And when I say heavy, it's because you're the new guy, and somebody always is going to challenge the new guy. Somebody always wants to know, hey, they're saying that you got this amount of money. right? Are you really worth it? Are you really who you say you are? And so that's why I say it's heavy, because fast people run. Fast people do fast things. But he's a truly fast person. And I can't wait to see the multitude of ways that Hugh Freeze. Now, I'm a betting man, and I'm willing to bet that you see Eric Singleton all over the field this year. You'll see him on the perimeter. You'll see him in the slot. I'm not sure if you see him. You got to put him at least on kick. I don't know if he's on punt return and kick return. He can do both. I definitely think you'll see him featured in the return game in some sort of way, even if it's a gadget play. So I think you'll find the same way they found ways to get Malcolm Simmons the ball last year. I think they'll be just as creative with Eric Singleton. So by his early impressions and the first impression that he's made is on the team being, hey, if I get the ball in my hand, I'm a threat to go every time because I have that type of speed. I think that's great for Auburn going forward. And that's just in team run. Now, when we talk about player-led workouts, passing, quarterback, receivers, Eric Singleton has also shown he's really got jets. And I think that a lot of people are surprised about how fast he gets in and out of his breaks. But another guy that's been surprising has been Deuce Knight. Deuce Knight has been very vocal in these player-led workouts, throwing sessions. And he showcased the ability to launch it. So when you talk about someone being able to maximize Eric Singleton's potential, Deuce Knight, let's say Eric Singleton comes back next year and Deuce Knight gets to play, or even if he gets to play a little bit this year, Deuce Knight is the type of guy that you want to continue to recruit super fast guys because he can get him the ball. Everything I've heard about Deuce Knight has been, one, he's bigger than some people expected him to be. His frame looks more like people saw him all year this year on campus, but didn't really get to see him in a workout capacity. He's a specimen, but he has a real live cannon. Now, there's some things that he's going to have to do accuracy-wise that he'll get better and better, but his accuracy, from what I'm hearing, he's more accurate than people thought he was going to be too. Don't be surprised if Deuce Knight pushes in a way where some people will say, man, Deuce maybe should be playing. But if there's any reason that Deuce Knight wouldn't play this year or wouldn't be able to play, it would be because Jackson Arnold is playing at a level that you wouldn't be able to justify playing Deuce. Jackson Arnold right now is turning heads. So as excited as people are about Deuce, I've heard more and more about people getting way more excited about Jackson Arnold. Now, mind you, these are player-led sessions, right? But I've also heard, from player-led sessions where people will say, I don't know if we got the guy, Deuce. Woo, man, I'm not sure how much better this guy's gotten. Jackson Arnold, one thing that people are raving about is how fast he processes and gets rid of the ball. They're saying you almost got to do a double take as far as because he's looking at you one moment, and the ball is almost like you don't even see the ball come out of his hands. So right now, to the receivers, Jackson Arnold is flashing these high-level traits that made him a 5-star. These high-level traits that had Oklahoma saying, hey, you know what, Dylan Gabriel? You're a great quarterback. You've been good to us, but we're going to roll with this guy. Those traits didn't go away. Maybe he didn't have the season that he wanted to have, but the traits did not go away. And another thing that people have been really surprised at is Jackson Arnold can run. Now, I'm getting this from players and some members who've been around, and I'm telling you, Jackson Arnold can absolutely go. And the people that I'm talking to, I trust, like, these kids are fast too. And they're like, no, Jackson can run. That's so important for Hugh Freeze's system. And when you go back and watch the film now, from what I've heard, and I'm going back to marry that up against the film, you can see where the athleticism of Jackson Arnold shined at times last year. You can see where he's made throws in a very tight window with little to no time to set his feet. I mean, literally just quick release, get it out of there, and the ball is popping out of his hands. So I think we'll be pleasantly surprised with the progress of Jackson Arnold this year. And if he plays well, and if Deuce Knight continues to progress the way he has, or the way that he's shown up so far, you start to think that the quarterback room may be a strength this year more than it's been in years, when you have two guys that you feel comfortable with being able to win you a game too. Not just give them a chance, but two guys that you feel comfortable with winning you a game. We talked about Singleton. We talked about Deuce Knight. We talked about Jackson Arnold. I want to talk about another newcomer that's turning heads in these player-led workouts, in these throwing sessions, and that's Sam Turner. Sam Turner, the former Georgia Tech commit from Southwestern Cal, 6'2", 6'2.5" guy. His ability to run routes and catch anything has really shocked people. When you look at Sam's development at Southwestern Cal, he was one of those guys who really started to take off when he started to understand zone coverage, knowing where to sit down, knowing where to get in space, catching the ball, and being able to utilize his catch radius by being able to dissect what was going on pre-snap. That was the development jump that Sam Turner took to be more cerebral in the way that he played the game. Once you start to do that, you start to be able to pick up other nuances of the position that make you even more dangerous. Well, now his route running has taken a turn, a positive turn. I'm hearing Sam Turner is very, very smooth at his size. Long arms, very long arm, that has been able to showcase that catch radius, and the quarterbacks have been impressed with Sam Turner. I think Sam Turner is a guy that, I mean, from right now, early returns say that with a good spring, Sam Turner could be forcing his way onto the field in the fall this year. I liken Sam Turner to a guy like Jay Crawford last year. I'm not putting those type of lofty expectations, All-American expectations on him. What I am saying is that if he gets the opportunity to perform, he's the type of guy that can perform in a pinch and you feel good about it. Now, I've also heard Horatio Fields transfer from Wake Forest. He's looking really good. He's really endeared himself to the locker room. And right now, what I'm hearing that's been the most important thing about these player-led workouts is that the sense of urgency is there. These guys are you're getting more participation in non-mandatory player-led workouts than has been seen in Auburn in a long time. You're also hearing that players are starting to step up, even guys who may not have the most production, that people are holding each other accountable. They don't want to talk about it. Any talk about the playoffs and all of this, you're hearing people know where they want to go. They don't want to talk about it. They want to talk about this workout. They want to talk about being the best you can be today. Multiple leaders have stepped up, and one of the things that people are saying that they don't want to talk about is NIL. Once you get straight and you're on that field, all of that stuff goes out the window. Nobody wants to talk about anything outside off the field while you're on the field. I've heard Damari Austin has been a great leader. Damari has been a driving force in some of these workouts and these team runs. You're seeing some. There's a hold up. I cannot forget to mention this. When you talk about a guy who has really stepped up as far as being a big brother, I continue to hear that Damari Austin is really ready for this role and is working on his body. Like literally, like he wanted to bulk up and slim down. So right now you're going to see Damari Austin. You're going to see his workout videos. But I've talked to multiple people that have been impressed with the way that Damari Austin literally bulked up in the offseason, and now he's really just kind of getting to that svelte form where he'll be a leaner back. But yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Damari Austin in this offseason. So I just wanted to make sure I repeated that. But yeah, man, I think there's a lot to look forward to. And I think the thing that I had been really, really impressed with is the attitude that I've spoken to multiple players, and their attitude is, bro, we ain't did nothing. That wasn't us last year. That's not us. We know what the record says. We know that we could play better than we played, and they're introducing new guys, and they're spreading that pain to them, so everybody knows what the sense of urgency is for the year. Ain't nobody, when you make a great play, yeah, it's not, oh my God, you made a great play. That's who we are. That's what we're supposed to do. And I think in the age of entitlement, in the age of where people lack accountability, for that to be the war cry is to no one cares, get better. That's what you're hearing when it comes to player-led meetings before the coaches even get to them. When it comes to a football capacity, I think it only bodes well for Auburn going forward this year. Now, I'm going to be excited to see what happens during the spring. And I'm also, one last thing I'll say. The kid from UConn, the transfer, I think his name Darrell Robinson, if I'm not mistaken. Real dude. Real dude. Real guy. So I wanted to make sure that he's a ball player. And I've also heard Jeremiah Cobb looks really good. And this is probably the most explosive he's looked since he's been in college. So there's a lot when it comes to the skill position. There's a lot to look forward to. I'll touch on some of the. I'll do another video later in the week, and I'll talk about some of the DB portions of what I've been hearing with some of the DB-led training sessions. And but from that point, look, guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I got a lot of content coming in a lot of different ways. You'll see this channel continue to expand. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and make sure you're subscribed to the playlist. Turn your notifications on for the AU Scoop. All right, that's my time. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I am out.